Thank you, Ciarán. I just wanted to say a few words on this bill at the outset. Could I comment on the contribution of my colleague here, Deputy Seán Haughey, and to thank him for the huge amount of effort and commitment he has given personally to dealing with this matter beyond the call of duty. We know that his grandfather was very involved in the Easter Rising, and I know that Eamon has a huge interest in all matters concerning the Easter Rising, but he has been particularly active on saving Moore Street, and we are all very grateful to him for that. So we are talking about the birthplace of the Republic. 14 to 17 Moore Street is a national monument, but I think all of us here are calling for the preservation of the entire Moore Street terrace. Could I say that as a Dublin City Councillor between 2014 and 2016, there was huge pressure brought to bear on us as City Councillors to sell 24 and 25 Moore Street to chartered lands. And had we yielded to that pressure, the planning permission would have been brought into force, and there would be a huge shopping centre now in place there, and much of the terrace would have been destroyed. City management in particular, it wasn't their finest hour, but thankfully there were enough of us Dublin City Councillors to prevent the disposal of 24, 25 Moore Street. So we're talking about a battlefield site, and we're talking about laneways of history, and all of it must be preserved. As the House will know, I'm also sitting on the Moore Street Advisory Group, and we did produce the report with the recommendations of how we should proceed in relation to this matter. Could I just join with other deputies here in praising the Moore Street traders? Moore Street and the trading which takes place there is synonymous with Dublin, but they are fighting against authority and bureaucracy all the time. I don't think Dublin City Council management has been particularly supportive of them. Basic things like producing a tap for running water, little issues like that. They seem to be fighting all the time to preserve their trade, and it's great to see the recommendations in this report to enhance what they're doing and to preserve what they are doing. As Deputy O'Keefe has said, my grandfather, Seán Haughey, was a young volunteer in the 1916 Rising, based in the GPO. His brother Noel was based in the Imperial Hotel opposite the GPO. And obviously he had to evacuate the GPO when the call came to do so. He has written a vivid account of his activities during those few days, and has spoken about how they went into 10 Moore Street and had to tunnel their way through the houses down Moore Street. And those tunnels are still there today. The holes in the wall are still there. And I've been fortunate enough to have a viewing of the National Monument 14 to 17, and it is very emotional to see those tunnels still there, and it does bring back, it brings to life, I think, just what those brave men and women did at that particular time. So the family would be very disappointed at the lack of progress in relation to this matter. Everybody knows what has to be done, and I really think from the point of view of the Lemass family, we need to proceed on this, and we are obviously disappointed with the lack of progress on the issue. I'd like to praise, like other speakers, the relatives groups. There are a number of relatives groups, and were it not for them, again, that massive big shopping centre proposed by Chartered Lands would now be in place, dwarfing the national monument. So I think they have fought a long battle, and it was really good to see all the relatives coming together, the various groups coming from different backgrounds, to come together in that forum and to produce the recommendations which are now there for action by central and local government. The site itself and all around O'Connell Street is in a terrible state of dereliction. It does not reflect well on central and local government to see the dereliction of this site at this time, and really, I think, heads have to be knocked together both at central and local government level to bring this project to fruition. So I agree with the other speakers here. We need to work together. There is a vision in place. We need a collaborative approach. There is a process in place, and it would be outrageous, I think, if this opportunity was squandered. It was extremely difficult to get all the various interest groups and interested parties together to produce one report, to sing off the same hymn sheet. And it would be fair to say that those people who gave up their time voluntarily are becoming impatient with the lack of progress in relation to this. I think it would be important to engage with the new owners. We have to accept what they have said to us in good faith, and I hope that we can get down to teasing out the details of any new planning application that they will be submitting in the near future. So I personally am disappointed with the lack of progress and the lack of interest shown by central government on this matter. Now, it may be that things got delayed while we tried to get Hammerson's to the table, but at the end of the day they came willingly. But you know, there's lots of things that the government could be doing now. I think funding is an issue in relation to the mixed development which is proposed for the Moore Street Terrace. And you, Minister, I think as you're agreeing your budgets going forward, you need to be very conscious of the recommendations of this report and what public funding can be provided. For example, an Irish language centre, as Deputy O'Keefe has outlined. So the time has come for this, come and past indeed, and long overdue for the regeneration of this site. And I really do think, Minister, that you have to play a leading role in this. And it would be great to think also that the Taoiseach might actually become more involved in the matter. A Taoiseach has great power in many respects, and if the Taoiseach showed a personal interest in this project, I think it would really be helpful. He is a Dublin Taoiseach, and this is a Dublin project, albeit with a national dimension, and a very important national dimension. So I just want to agree with the sentiments expressed here by many deputies, but particularly by my colleague Deputy Eamon O'Keefe, and I hope that we can make progress quickly on this issue.
Thank you, Deputy.